Muckluck here, and I don't like game reviews that take 20 minutes to give 5 minutes of information. This is The Alters, a single-player base-building survival video game. It is available on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox XS, and is rated M for mature. In full disclosure, I received this game for free as part of my work, but the goal of this review is to determine whether or not this game is worth its time and price tag for you. The game's setting, with no spoilers beyond the tutorial. You play the role of Jan Dulski, the last survivor of a mission to gather resources not native to Earth. He cannot operate the massive base alone, so through the use of the alien resources he was sent to find in the first place and the base's advanced quantum computer, he begins making clones. But each clone has memories of a different life, such as going to med school and becoming a doctor, or working in a shop and becoming an expert technician. But all their lives converge onto this mission. Your goal is to keep all the alters of yourself in line, deal with problems as they arise, and find a way back to Earth for you, Jan, and Jan. The general gameplay: you run around on the planet's surface during the daytime hours and search for resources, set up resource collection outposts, and perhaps find items that survived your own crash to help you. The nights are highly radioactive, so you are on the clock and have to get back to the base before too much time passes. At the base, you can build equipment to help you, make new rooms based on your needs, expand the base if you run out of space, and grow new alters. The alters themselves have their own personalities, and you need to keep them calm and working toward your common goal. You will assign them to tasks they are best at to keep them busy and cater to their needs, or ignore it and hope for the best. You are nearly always on the clock with some emergency or another to deal with, so pressure is constantly at your back. The alters took me about 21 hours of gameplay for the first playthrough, doing as much side content as I could find. However, the game has many branching paths, decisions, and endings, so playing it multiple times and making different choices can yield different experiences. Comparisons to other games: running around outside the base, gathering resources, and building things to help you was quite like Subnautica. The designing of the base itself with the 2D view was quite similar to Fallout Shelter or XCOM base building. Assigning the alters to various tasks to keep things moving was similar to Stranded Alien Dawn or Oxygen Not Included. And constantly talking to your alters and keeping them calm was like being a therapist. The details. Graphics. I found them quite good. The environments were beautiful, the base design was really fun, and for most of the game, the only human you see is Jan, and Jan. Just an average looking guy. Each alter does have different facial hair or a different haircut, so you can rely on that to tell them apart as you get to know them one by one. Sound and music. The sound design was great and quite fun. The game came with some fantastic tracks. Controls. The alters can be played with a controller or with mouse and keyboard. I played it on mouse and keyboard and had no issues. Saving system. The game only saves at the start of a new day. I found this inconvenient because if I needed to step away while playing, I could not just stop and save at any time. Additionally, if something went wrong and I didn't understand why, I couldn't just reload to a few minutes ago. I had to replay a whole day, which was sometimes quite time consuming. Content creator concerns. Yes, I streamed my entire playthrough and most of the related VODs and videos were either sharing revenue or ineligible for monetization due to the music. If you plan to make content for this game, just a heads up. Do I have anything negative to say about this game? First is the saving system I previously mentioned. The second item was the game could use some kind of log. I'll be vague about this because of spoilers, but in my playthrough I had an alter die suddenly and I could not figure out why. Was it radiation? Poisoned food? Did he overdose on medication? I had no idea. I reloaded the game and replayed that day multiple times, and every time he just dropped dead. I know now, after some Google searches, what happened to him, but while I was playing it, I had no idea what was going on. The third item was the pacing. This may not be strictly a negative depending on your taste in storytelling, so I guess this is more of a word of warning. It felt extremely easy to get bad ends in this game. There are many decisions you make that later lead to very punishing consequences, and you have to play your cards just right for a good ending. On the flip side, this does lead to more replayability if you enjoy trying to perfect your runs. My final critique would be that I would love if the game had an additional kind of sandbox mode. Essentially, you are doing the gameplay loop of expanding the base and gathering resources and upgrading things, but this loop is constantly interrupted by something trying to kill you. The pressure's always on, there's always a crisis, and it felt like anytime I started to enjoy the gameplay loop, another massive interruption would happen. Final thoughts. The Alters was a game that seemed to pull inspiration and had gameplay design elements from many other games I've loved. It had great graphics and sound and a solid, if not stressful, story with multiple endings and branching paths to give replayability options if you fancied it. The negative items I listed were few in number. I experienced 0 bugs, and with the playtime I got out of it, I feel that the $35 USD price tag was more than fair. For these reasons, I think that The Alters was absolutely worth its price. Also, at the time of this recording, it is available on Game Pass. This video was not sponsored, so if you enjoyed it, please consider hitting that like button to help us out with the YouTube algorithm and subscribe for more content. If you'd like to see more of my own playthrough of The Alters, I'll include a link to that playlist from our other channel down below. Subscribe there too. As always, a massive thank you to our dear patrons who make content like this possible. If you'd like to become a supporter and earn early access, there's a link to that in the description. Happy altering.